Everyone, we're back. All right, welcome to Act 3, Scene 1, Part 2. That's a lot of numbers there. We just finished talking about Hamlet's to be or not to be soliloquy. This particular video is going to be focusing on Hamlet and Ophelia's interaction and then the king's reaction after witnessing this. We have to remember that Claudius and Polonius are spying on Hamlet and Ophelia. They're trying to see if it really is Ophelia's rejection of Hamlet that has driven Hamlet to this madness, right? Remember this antic disposition, this madness that he's pretending or that he's feigning. And they don't know that it's pretend. They're not really sure what's going on. So let's take a look at Act 3, Scene 1, roughly line 90 or so, depending on our version. We see Ophelia enter and the end of the to be or not to be soliloquy, and Hamlet addresses her nymph, beautiful mystical creature. In thy orisons, in thy prayers, be all my sins remembered. Basically, pray for me, is what he says to her, right? And good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day? It's been a long time since she's seen him, right? She says, how have you been since I've seen you last? It's been a while. I humbly thank you. He says, well. My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them. She gives them back. Guys, this is that awkward moment in the breakup when you have to give each other your stuff back, okay? This is not a happy moment. She's like, so I have your stuff, and here's the stuff you gave me. It's an awkward moment, okay? And we see Hamlet, no, not I never gave you aught. He automatically defensive. Not me. I never gave you anything. And Ophelia's very confused. My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. They're not so sweet anymore, so take them back. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. The nice gifts lose their flavor, their treasure, their prize, when the person who gave it proves to be unkind. Well, we have to wonder what Hamlet has done there, right? There, my lord, she gives it back to him, and he kind of scoffs. Are you honest? Now we have to think about the multiplicity of the word honest. Think about all the connotations, right, and denotations for the word honest. So we have honest as in straightforward, telling the truth, honest as in just and fair, righteous, but also honest as in pure and having integrity, right? And she's very confused by that. Ophelia's confused. My lord, Hamlet, are you fair? Now think about the word fair, right? There's multiple meanings to that. Being just, being honest, being true or righteous, but also being beautiful. What means your lordship? See, she's still confused. That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty, right? There should be nothing to connect, basically, your honesty and your beauty. Is he saying that there is no connection there? Is he just really angry? And Ophelia, again, is still very confused. Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty? Is beauty worth more than honesty? And Hamlet says, aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometimes a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once. Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so, we see from Ophelia. This is a very intense moment between the two of them. And look what Hamlet says. You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not. Ouch. Ouch. Think about that. And how Ophelia, rather, of course, hurt by this. I was the more deceived. Well, then you fooled me. Right? It's a very painful moment. And Hamlet now, kind of in a fury, starts to tell her, get thee to a nunnery. Go to a convent. Get thee to a nunnery. Think about what he's saying here. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? Why would you have children who are just going to grow up to be sinners? I am myself indifferent honest. I am an honest person. But yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I'm considered honest, and yet I could accuse myself of such terrible things. It would be better if I were never born. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? This is much more reflective of Hamlet himself and his thinking about himself and his current condition than it has anything to do with Hamlet and Ophelia, right? This is very much about the way he perceives himself and his current problem. We are arrant knaves all men, all people, arrant knaves, kind of fools, right? Fools. Believe none of us. Now, is this his antic disposition, or is he being honest here? Believe none of us. We know that he's fooling everybody. We know that Claudius is not trustworthy. We know Polonius is not trustworthy. Believe none of us. Even Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, right? They're not trustworthy either. Look at what Hamlet tells her. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father? That's a very random question to ask after all of that, right? And Ophelia, surprised or startled, at home, my lord. What does she do? She lies to him. Is she afraid of him? We don't really know, but we know where Polonius is. He's spying on them, right? So in some productions, Polonius sometimes makes a noise accidentally, or Claudius will make a noise and kind of tip Hamlet off to the fact that they're not alone. And so he asks, where is he? Is this a test of Ophelia? Is she going to be honest? And she lies, right? So she says, at home, my lord, and Hamlet says, let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell, let him stay there, so he can be a fool only in his own house. And in most productions of this, he starts to get a little bit violent. He starts to act a little bit crazy. And we see Ophelia very afraid of him here. Oh, help him, you sweet heavens. She does pray for him, and she prays for him to have help here. And usually in most productions, he's basically like dragging Ophelia around now by the arm. It gets a little uncomfortable and sometimes pretty vicious. And look at what Hamlet says to her. If thou dost marry, if you do marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Calumny is like vicious rumors about you, having your reputation ruined, right? Having people say vicious things about you. Get thee to a nunnery, he says it again, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. That's pretty vicious. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell. And of course, Ophelia, again, heavenly powers restore him, praying for him. We see she thinks he's completely mad at this point. And now he starts, in most productions, he's kind of screaming at this point. I have heard of your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another, right? Talking about makeup. But what is makeup but a false front, right? What is makeup but pretending to be something you're not, putting on a different face, much like many of the other characters in the play, right? What does Hamlet say now? You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures, and you make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery go. Now we have to ask, when Hamlet exits, we have to ask, why does he keep telling her, get thee to a nunnery? Is he that angry with her? Does he really think she should never marry? Is he trying to protect her somehow? Does he know where all of these things are going because he knows he has to get his revenge on Claudius? Is this all an attempt to try to get her out of Elsinore to keep her safe? We don't really know, but that's definitely worth analyzing if that were something that you were interested in. Notice Ophelia's response when he exits. Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. He was the highest of the high, the noblest of the noble, right? And here he is now overthrown, fallen into this madness. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me. There's that line, guys. You've heard that before. Oh, woe is me. That's the line. Pain, misery, sadness is me. To have seen what I have seen, see what I see. Ophelia is heartbroken. She is so devastated to see to what depths Hamlet has fallen. And we have to remember she feels guilty for this. From everything her father has said and everything she just saw from Hamlet, her assumption is that Hamlet has gone this crazy because she rejected him. She knows nothing about the ghost of King Hamlet or anything else there. So all she knows is that this is her fault. All right, the king enters, right, with Polonius. Claudius enters. Love, his affections do not tend that way, nor would he speak. Though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. He seemed pretty sane, even though he was kind of all over the place there. There's something in his soul which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatchling disclosed will be some danger, which for to prevent I have in quick determination thus set it down. He's got a plan. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply, hopefully, the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on it? He asks Polonius. So I'm going to send him to England, and maybe the change of scenery might help a little bit. And Polonius agrees. Of course, it shall do well, he says. But yet I do believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. What if he's proven wrong, right? He's trying to prove, no, I was right about this. And now he turns to Ophelia. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. So let Gertrude talk to him alone, and let's see what happens there. Let her be round with him, be direct with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. Polonius wants to spy again. Let Gertrude and Hamlet talk one-on-one. I'll hide. I'll spy on them again. To England send him, right? If she find him not, to England send him. Or confine him where your wisdom best shall think. Okay, and the king says, it shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go. All right, so we're going to spy one more time, right? We're going to let Gertrude try to talk to Hamlet, try to sort this all out, see what's going on. If she can't get anywhere with Hamlet, then fine. We'll send him to England and we'll see what we can do. But we've got to be very careful and we've got to watch him because we can't let madness go unchecked in people of power. All right. So that's Act 3, Scene 1. Go ahead and finish up your study guides. I will see you tomorrow with Act 3, Scene 2. Have a great day.